who is not accused number 3, who also passed on unfortunately in 2019. He's also deceased.
Nalana ke lona oku page 44 uyena ke ongasekho emhlabeni ukhulekani Buthelezi akusiyena umsola wesi
18, 19 and 44. I think that has been quelled or that has been dealt with. Thank you. Do you understand?
Yeah, investigating officer will take it further.
uyena ke umphenyi weqala ozoqhubeka ke nalo lo daba.
Thank you, sir. So would you further agree with me that in all the photos wherein accused number 3, we do admit and concede that it is in 19 and 44 where there was a bit of a misunderstanding about the identity of those people, that accused number 3 has got a very distinctive skin color. His alabaster is a very distinctive one. He's light in complexion. Would you agree with me on that one?
Photo number?
In all the photos wherein you identified him in your evidence in chief and said, I see a gentleman who's wearing this and this and this, who's wearing a beach clothes. I see a gentleman with dreadlocks. I see a gentleman with dreadlocks. I see a gentleman with dreadlocks. He's got a very distinctive alabaster or skin complexion. It's very distinctive. It's very light. So you're trying to go through. You can again take your time, see.
Yebo ke impela ke ukuthi
and would you further agree with me that in all the photos where his left side of his face is appearing, or let me say where his left side of his ear is appearing, he appears on the photos to be wearing what is this name?
Earring.
Earring, yes. Would you agree with me? Let's go to page 11.
Yes, I'm on page 11.
Would you agree with me that on his left-hand side here, he's donning an earring?
It looks like, yes, it's not that clear. I can see.
aqaqileke kangakho kodwa ke ngiyabona ukuthi yebo unecici alifakile la ku page 11.
Hayi kahle mnumzane, wait say. In your evidence in chief, when you were requested to describe what you see in that picture, you said, I see a gentleman who's got a dreadlocks and an earring on his ear. You never said it appears like he's got an ear. You're very specific. Now, why all of a sudden you're changing your tone?
Yeah, I'll go back to what I said yesterday.
Yes.
I said I see a gentleman with
Yes.
an earring on photo number 12,
Yes.
not on photo number 11. We can put on the reverse the record. I said page 11, I see a gentleman sitting in a car with dreadlocks. Page 12, I said I see a gentleman with dreadlocks and an earring, because it's clear I can see it.
I'm sorry, it's actually my mistake. I meant to say photo number 12. Yes. I'm sorry. I meant to say photo number 12.
Ngokuthi ambuze ngo11 ngoba uyasho ukuthi akashonga izolo ukuthi lo ambona la ehlezi emotweni une earring noma unecici, kodwa ebekhuluma ngophoto 12 ngo page 12 uthi la alibonakala khona ke usiyaxolisa kumele uthi uyena ebeqonde ukuthi upage 12.
My apology for that drop in the ocean.
It's okay, it's okay.
Thank you, sir. Yes. Let's also go to photo number 22. Would you agree with me again that as you look at the gentleman that you described, that we concede and admit that is accused number 3 before court here, he's also got an earring on his left ear?
Yes, I can see.
Ngiyabona ke nala ku page 22 ukuthi kwindlebe yakhe ke yasokunxele uneqedi.
Lindor, made to melt you by the Lindt Master Chocolatier.
Most businesses fail within the first 3 years.
It's difficult. It's not going to work. I don't think you're making the right decision.
Ridiculous. I've seen it all. Like, I mean, this is how the world ends.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Nothing better than proving somebody wrong.
Yes.
Oh, that is so satisfying.
Tell me go right, I'm going to go left. Tell me I can't do it, I'll show you I can do it.
Now, you said you've got 20 years experience in police force, not so?
20 years of service, yes.
Yes.
Ngiminyaka ke 20 ngisebenza emaphoyiseni.
And now against the backdrop of that background, what do you say? Is it an offense for a person to have in his folder, in his photo folder, in his phone, to have pictures of various nature?
It's not an offense.
Akusibona ke ubulelesi noma ke icala ke ukuthi abe umuntu abe nezithombe futhi izithombe ezahlukene efonini yakhe noma ku-folder yakhe.
Would you say, against the backdrop of the fact that you are a 20-year-old experienced officer in the South African Police Services, the information that was found in accused number 3 person's phone constitute any offense?
I don't know whether that is fair. It's for this court to decide. For instance, there are firearms depicted there. Whether the accused has got a license to possess those firearms, the witness cannot respond to that, my lord. It's a matter that is for this court to decide, or for the investigating officer to respond to.
I totally disagree, my lord, especially on the last aspect of the basis of the objection of my colleague that accused persons in his phone, there are photos of firearms. Therefore, that relates to being possession of a firearm without a license. I don't think that is a true reflection of what the law says, because then if that was the case, people who are found reading books where firearms are depicted, then they should be arrested. I think none of us here would have actually escaped that wrath. So that objection, my lord, it's very unfortunate. But I myself love photos. I love to look at photos, gun photos. I've got stacks and stacks of books there at home. I love guns. I love guns. But fortunately, I only love them when I see them on the books and on the photos. I don't have them physically. Therefore, to suggest that might constitute an offense of unlawful possession of firearm, I think that submission, my lord, is very unfortunate.
You know what's my view?
Yes, my lord.
The comments about the photos which encapsulate, you call it a rifle. Is it not an AK-47? Sergeant Mabasa, you called it a rifle. Is it an AK-47 or a rifle? 4 or 5? What is it? You're a police person.
It looks like an R5.
Okay.
Noma usibhekile lesibhamile kukhona lesi sithombe sayizolo sibukeka njenge R5.
Yeah, so I'm saying to you, don't invite that type of cross-examination because it is patent that the Cleveland case is linked, according to the diary here, is linked to the forced Lurers case. Are you with me?
Yes, madam.
Yeah, so let's not get to what is the guns doing there or what. Because if you look at this, they say they are linked. Two cases. And we don't have to speculate. There's money there. Doesn't take a Mandela's mind to know that the money which is there is linked to, not linked to the so-called murder charges we are busy with.
Yes.
It's linked to the Cleveland case. Are you with me? So let's leave the Cleveland case.
That is not my argument, my Lord, as well. I'm actually perturbed. Why is it actually mentioned? Because we're concerned here about the event that took place at First Lorraine.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yes.
That's why I say.
I'm actually not there. But what I'm saying, my Lord, is whether or not in the cell phone that was confiscated from the accused, certain photos, whether they be RK47, R4, and all those things, my Lord, whether that is the case, that is not an offense. Because I can go on Google and download a photo of an AK-47 and store it in my phone. I don't think I'm committing any offense, my Lord. But nonetheless, this has got nothing to do with. So there is something that your captain said about you being able to identify whether a photo was sent to a person, whether it was taken by his own gadget, whether it's a photo that was downloaded, whether it is a photo that was simulated. By simulation, I mean when somebody, creates their own image out of these sophisticated softwares that are available in these days. And I'm saying, I won't get to that because from where I'm standing, that is totally irrelevant. At this point, let me say, I pause. I no longer have any further questions for you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, too.
Yes, Mr. Mamalo.
May it please the court, my lord, I have no questions or cross-examination to this witness. Thank you.
Even about hairstyles?
No,
okay.
Not at all. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Ms. Mtolan.
Thank you, my lord. I've got no questions to this witness.
I like cracking jokes. Okay, I just want to understand, do you normally work with a meaning that
Gauteng at Command Center, and he is at cold case, national cold case.
Asisebenza ndawonye ke noma ehhovisi elilodwa ke sebenza ke kwinhlanga noma ke kuma unity ahlukile.
Belinda just utilizes your expertise regarding the downloading of information from cell phones, etc.
That's true. Most of his cases, I'm the one doing them.
Kodwa ke ukuthi iningi ke lamacala akhe ke kuba yini?
The cities got no information.
You're done.
Yeah, apparently you're excused.
Oh, okay.
As a good case, my lord, we have updated the list of exhibits. Just beg leave to hand up the updated list, giving the updated list to my colleagues.
Here. Okay.
As a good please, my lord, as we've intimated that the presentation of the state case is not necessarily in the right sequence due to the availability of the witnesses. The next witness that the state is going to call is going to testify in respect of Exhibit T1 and T2. And my lord, we're going back to the people who were in the house.
Okay.
The state calls the witness is Mr. Mthokozisi Twala. He's witness number 20 on the witness list. Whilst we're still waiting for the witness, can I take the liberty of handing up Exhibit 2T1? It's the identification parade form. Parade.
Yeah, so the witness in?
Igama nisibonga.
Thokozisi Twala.
Uyimisela ukufunga ukuthi
Sesiza ngikhuluma.
se witness is sonini manje. Mahlala.
Alright.
Mr. Twala,
Yes.
do you know the deceased in this matter?
Umufi kuleli cala uyamazi?
Mr. Senzo Meyiwa.
Mnumzana Senzo Meyiwa.
Yebo ngiyamazi.
Yes, I do know him.
How do you know him?
Umazi kanjani?
Umngane wami.
My friend.
From when do you know him? Or how long had you known him?
Make usikhathi esingakanani umazi? Umaze isikhathi esingakanani?
I think since 2002.
Ngicabanga ukuthi since 2002 noma kusukela ngo-2002.
Is there any member of your family who's also known to the, or who was known to the deceased?
Ingaba ukhona yini owakini emndenini owayesaziwa uyena umufi?
Yebo khona.
Yes, there is.
Yes, who's that?
Ubani loyo?
When ngesikhathi mina ngisanda kuzwana naye wayazana nobaba.
When I just gotten to know him, he knew my father.
Yes, what is your father's name?
Ubani igama likababa wakho?
Uthemba Robert Tiza Twala.
Themba Robert Tiza Twala.
And how did the deceased know your father?
Umufi ebemazi kanjani ubaba wakho?
Ubaba waye ngizothi professional player wayedlala ibhola edlalela one of the big, okay, not one but ama team amakhulu ala South Africa. So after Bola, why seba is scout for some of Lauma teams.
My father used to be a professional football player for the big teams in South Africa, and after he retired from football, he became a scout for those teams.
So abadlali nje abancane ababesafisa ukuphumelela babe nokufika ekhaya bezokhuluma naye baconsulta naye abanye bafundela ama teams.
Young aspiring players who would wish to make it successful would come to my home and speak to him, and then he would look for teams for them.
Including naye kusenzo noma sasingakazwani ngaleso sikhathi kodwa wayamanye abantu ababekhuluma naye ubaba.
Including Senzo, although myself and him didn't know each other, had no relationship at the time, but he came to my father and spoke to speak to him.
Yeah, that's close about it.
A name has also been mentioned in these proceedings, Ms. Mandisa Mkhize. Do you know her?
Kunegama ke futhi elishiwo ke lana uMandisa Mkhize uyamazi?
Yebo ngimazi kahle impela.
Yes, I know her very well.
Yes, how do you know her?
Umazi kanjani?
uMandisa unganami, one of my close friends.
Mandisa is my friend, one of my close friends.
Kade
iyaphumela kwi recording. Okay, maqhubeka.
Mandisa ngineminyaka ke ngimazi mhlambe 97 or 8 from primary.
I've known Mandisa for years, maybe from 97 or 98 from primary school.
We childhood friend yami.
She's my childhood friend.
Up until namanje, sazwana.
Up until now.
Do you know if there was any relationship between her and the deceased?
Ngabuyazi yini ukuthi babukhona ubudlelane babukhona phakathi kwakhe uMandisa kanye noMufi?
Yebo babe kwi relationship. I think yaqala ngo 2004. Mangaqamba manga.
Yes, they were in a relationship. If I'm not telling lies, I think it started in 2004.
Do you know if there are any children born out of this relationship?
Ngabuyazi yini ukuthi bakhona yini abantwana abakhona noma abazalwa ke kuyona leyo relationship leyo?
Yebo ukhona oyedwa uSenzo unengane no uMufi unengane no nayo Mandisa uLuthando unana.
Yes, there is one child. The deceased has got a child with Mandisa, Luthando or Nana.
How old is the child?
I think una 15, if 16.
I think 15 or 16.
Yeah, I think 15, if not 16, somewhere there.
Somewhere there, 15, if not 16.
Thank you. On the 26th of April, which led
over 2014, esiholele ekuthini ube la namuhla ke uzonikeza ubufakazi.
Yebo.
Yes.
Can you tell the court in your own words what happened, starting with the events of the early morning?
Utshela lenkantolo ke okwenzeka kuqala ke ekseni ngalelo langa lelo.
Sukele ekseni sasise Malberton. Angade ngilale khona mina.
In the morning we were in Malberton, that's where I had slept.
And whose house was that?
Ukwabani noma kwakukwabani eMalberton?
Ila kuhlala khona uSenzo noKelly.
Where Senzo and Kelly used to stay.
Who is Kelly?
Ubani Kelly?
uKelly I girlfriend ka Senzo.
Senzo's girlfriend.
And just briefly, can you just explain why you slept over at Malberton at the house of the deceased and Ms. Kelly Kumalo?
Awuchaze nje kafishane kwakuyini ke imbangelo yokuthulala khona lapha eMalberton?
Imbangelo ukuthi sasikade siphume Soweto. We show la uKelly iperforma khona, then uSenzo wafana ngihambise ekhaya manje ukuthi kwakunetha kakhulu imvula, so engakwazi ukuthi angihambise eKatlehong ngoba nje kangangeneki kakunetha kunama potholes wayekhala ngento eziningi, so wase wa opt ukuthi ngiye kuyena endlini.
We were coming from Soweto where Kelly had been performing, and Senzo was supposed to have taken me home to Katlehong, but it was raining and he was complaining about a lot of things about how he could not go in there, as well as potholes.
So from lapho ke sase siya wathi asihlale kancane lapha eMalberton uzothi imvula misiyehlile bese yangihambisa, but lalinetha nje kakhulu, so sagcine kuyisibona ke option yokuthi ngilale uzongihambisa ekseni.
He then requested me to be there for a while up until the rain subsided, and then he would then take me home, but it was just raining, and it was then decided that I should just sleep there and he would take me home the next morning.
Thank you. Can you then proceed? What happened then? The 26th of October 2014?
Gate 26 days October.
From okay, savuka khona ke endlini kwakuyimina uSenzo abantu abesendlini uZandi noKelly.
We then woke up. The people that were in the house was myself, Zandi, Kelly, and Senzo.
uSenzo akakufanele ayephathini ngafana attend iphathi kaRoy Mahamut khona uRoy Mahamut umdlali webhola wayedlalela iPirates wayumngani kaSenzo.
Senzo was supposed to have attended a party of Roy Mahamuta. Roy Mahamuta was Senzo's teammates. They were together playing for Orlando Pirates, and he was Senzo's friend.
Iparty noma ngasakhumbula ukuthi yayingakho but let's say Muyang uza ngathi ngalanga ku Pretoria Sunning Hill ukuthi ngiyadideka ngendawo but kakuzo go kart oqala.
I'm just not certain as to where the exact venue of the party was, but as you come towards Pretoria, Sunning Hill, I'm just not certain. But we're first going to go kart.
Just a minute. Yes, you may proceed.
So sasuka endlini siya lapho la kuzoya go kart wakhona.
We then left the house to where the go-karting was going to be.
Emotweni sisuke eMalbathini kakuyimina uZandi ngemuva hleqeni kwami bese kuba uKelly front seat no Senzo shayelayo.
In the vehicle, it was myself and Zandi at the back, she was sitting next to me, and then Kelly in the front seat and Senzo who was driving.
So we proceeded ukuthi siye khona lapha ephathini but sagcine singafikanga khona.
We then proceeded to the venue of the party, but we ended up not reaching there.
Yes, you may proceed.
So from sisahamba freeway engikukhumbulayo ngiyakhumbula ukuthi nje we deviated or sa ngena somewhere like a shopping center or a mall where safika sapaka khona sase siyaphuma no Senzo siya ka Wimpy.
I remember as we were driving on the N1 that we then detoured and then drove into some shopping center or a mall, and then myself and Senzo alighted and went to Wimpy.
Yes.
Okay, let me just before deviate to Senzo received the call. After receive a call, then sase siyongena ka sase siya ngena kulo shopping center or mall ngisakhumbula kahle.
But just before we drove in or we just detoured, Senzo received a call, and thereafter that's when we then went to the shopping center.
And from Leo colleague I receive iyona ukuthi sembe siba nama change of plans sase sasingabisaya ephathini kaRoy sase siya Soweto la performa khona uKelly.
As a result of that call, there was then a change of plan. We then no longer went to the party, but to Soweto, where Kelly was performing.
Because why ngitshela
Yes, where in Soweto did you go to?
Naya kuphi nendawo eSoweto?
Saya eDoronyembe Park.
Dorothy Nyembe Park.
Yeah, it's eDoronyembe Park. I think I can do festival ka Ata Mafukate.
I think there was a Can Do festival of Ata Mafukate.
Yes, you may proceed.
Yeah, safika eDorotnyembe Park ke okay libehla ke bayo prepare kuyoshintsha kuyodansa lokuperforma bezoperforma.
We then arrived to Nyembe, Kelly. They then alighted to go and change and prepare so as to go and dance.
Yes. Then what happened after their performance?
Uma seniqedile sebeqedile ukuperforma kwenzekani?
Engikhumbula ukuthi sasime la sasimkhona, I think it was a VIP tent or something. Kelly weza wabuza ukuthi indaba Senzo wayefuna ukuhamba, wabuza kulona ukuthi wenza yini ufuna indaba Senzo indaba nje ngathi mthetho Senzo ufuna ukuhamba la. From lapho sasiyasuka sihlalanga nje isikhathi eside after performing.
I think where we were standing, it was like in a VIP tent, and Kelly just came to inquire as to.
Yes. It's fine. Don't disclose what other people told. What time did you leave?
Nothing hamba isikhathi sini eDorotnyembe.
Mhlambe after 4:30.
Maybe after 4:30.
Yes. And where did you go to?
Nayapi.
Saya eKatlehong ekhaya.
We went to my home in Katlehong.
Yes. May proceed.
From eKatlehong initially uSenzo wayezongishiya ekhaya.
Initially Senzo was going to leave me at my home in Katlehong.
And then after like a few minutes engidropile off ekhaya waphinda wangifonela futhi.
After a few minutes having dropped me at home, he called me again.
And then wase wangibuza ukuthi ngisendlini yini ngathi waswathi shintsha wasathi angishintshe asambe athi nayibo siyapi waswathi asambe siyolanda itumelo.
As a good please, you may not disclose what the deceased said.
Okay.
What happened after he dropped you off?
Emuva kokuthi esekuthulileke ekhaya kwasekwenzekani?
Yebo ngisho ukuthi wangifonela ngase ngibuyele emotweni because wangitshela khona utumelo sekufika utumelo.
As I said,
siyolanda utumelo.
I went back into the car because they had said we needed to go and fetch Tumelo.
Yes, you went back to the car. What happened then further?
And then we drove to, I think it's a Sprayed View lap. It's some off ramp lapha ku N3 Sprayed View la utumelo ayi2 khona.
I think we drove to Sprayed View.
Yes.
And then samfica lapho ku Tumelo ku freeway.
That's where we found Tumelo at the freeway.
Can you just put his full details on record? What is his surname?
Ubani isibongo sakhe?
uTumelo Bona lapho kulandela uTumelo sahamba saya eFosloras.
From fetching Tumelo, we then went to Fosloras.
Yes.
eFosloras ke saqala kwenye indawo ngizothi tavern store kodwa kudayiswa ukudla kudayiswa notshwala.
In Fosloras, we first went to this place. I would say that it's a tavern or shop because they are selling food as well as liquor.
Yes, you may proceed.
From lapho ke sathenga khona ama drinks ethu. Yeah, sathenga ama drinks ethu sizoya uzoyiwa endlini yakaKelly.
From there, we then bought our drinks. We were then going to go to Kelly's home.
Yes.
Ngiyakhumbula ukuthi sasimile la ngaphandle sikhuluma khona le
we were buying the drinks.
Ngizosho ukuthi ngangi skeptical, uncomfortable kancane ngokuthi kuyiwe lapho endlini yakaKelly.
I would say that I was a bit skeptical and uncomfortable that we were going to go to Kelly's house.
Nginezathu zami kwenza ukuthi ngisho kanjalo.
Having my reasons as to why I am saying so.
But engikukhumbulayo ukuthi uSenzo wagcina ethu ngoba ngangakaze ngibone ingane yakhe. So wathi this would be a right time ukuthi ngibone ingane yakhe.
Senzo then ended up saying, because I had never seen his child, that this would be the right time for me to see the child.
Just a minute, why were you uncomfortable to go to Miss Kelly Khumalo's parental house?
Kwakungani ke ukuthi wa skeptical noma uncomfortable ukuthi uye khona ku Kelly?
Njengoba sengisho ukuthi as much as uSenzo umngani wami, but nefiance yakhe uSenzo at the time umandisa kakumngani wami. So kumina kangabukeki kahle ukuthi ngingaya endlini yentombi yakhe yaSenzo. Ngibe ngihamba noSenzo ngibe ngizwana nentombi yakhe. Ngibe ngizwana nomfazi wakhe or ifiance yakhe ngisho kanje.
As I've already said that Senzo was my friend. Senzo's fiance as well was my friend. So it would not have been a good picture that it would be portrayed for me now to be in Senzo's presence and go to Senzo's girlfriend's place.
But egcineni kwenzeka ngendlela okwenzeka ngayo lento engangi-avoida yagcine kuyona.
But in the end it happened. The very same thing that I was avoiding ended up happening.
So
yes, you left. You then left the tavern. What time did you leave the tavern?
Nase nisuka ke tavern kwakusesikhathini ke uma nihamba tavern.
Kaku after 5.
After 5?
Yes. And where did you go to?
Naya kuphi?
Saya kaKhumalo.
To the Khumalos.
Kamaka Kelly.
Kelly's mother's.
Yes.
Safika ke khona sapaka ngaphandle sangena ke ngaphakathi sasihamba ngeX6 kaSenzo emotweni kakuyimina uKelly uZandi uTumelo uSenzo soba u5.
We then arrived there, we parked outside, we went into the house. It was then myself, Senzo, Tumelo, Kelly and Zandi. We were traveling in Senzo's X6.
Yes.
Sangena ngaphakathi endlini ke and we met uMakaKelly ngaphakathi endlini no Christian ingane kaKelly no Jubjubu bese kuba kwakhona noTingo ingane kaKelly noSenzo.
We went into the house, we met Kelly's mother was inside the house. Christian is Kelly and Jubjub's child, as well as Tingo, who is Kelly and Senzo's child.
Yes, you may proceed.
From there, ngiyakhumbula ukuthi ke bas introduce basho ukuthi umama ubani njengoba beze basichazele ukuthi uMakakheli la ngabona khona ukuthi uMakakheli and base balethela uThingo.
From there, Kelly's mother was then introduced. I then could see that it was Kelly's mother, and then Tingo was brought for me.
And then yeah, ngase sasihleli ke kudlala naye uThingo ke noTumelo kwakudlala nebhola ke ngikhumbulayo game between Chelsea and Manchester at that time.
Myself and Tumelo were then playing with the child Tingo, and what I also do recall was that there was a game that was playing on TV, Chelsea and Manchester.
Ngikhumbula ukuthi Chelsea ngoba kwaba khona idebate yabakhona ngoba kakudlala uDidier Drogba, so uSenzo noTumelo babephikisana ngoDrogba and wakora ngaleyo kulona ngoba uTumelo wagcine winile ngoba I remember that it was Chelsea because there was an argument between Senzo and Tumelo about Didier Drogba, and Tumelo being a fan of Didier Drogba, Tumelo ended up winning because Didier Drogba scored on the day.
Now, in which part of the house were you seated?
Nanihlezi kuphi noma kuyiphi ingxenye yendlu?
Sasihlele sitting room.
In the sitting room.
Do you still remember the sitting arrangement, how you were seated in the sitting room?
Usakhumbula ukuthi nanihlezi kanjani e-sitting room?
Yep, ngiyakhumbula.
Yes, I do.
If you are shown pictures, will you be able to indicate who was seated where?
Uma ungabona utshengiswa ithombe ungakhomba ukuthi ubani wahlezi kuphi nendawo?
Yebo ngakhomba.
Yes, I would be able to.
But please, my lord, we're going to show you photo 57 of Exhibit D. Maybe photo 59 of Exhibit D, 59. There's a pointer, you can use that to indicate where you're seated. Photo 59.
Ungakhomba ke la nanihlezi khona.
La akuhleli uTumelo.
Where the witness is pointed next to where the pink item is, that's where Tumelo sat.
Mina ngihlela lapha nendawo.
I was seated in the middle.
Yes, just a minute. Yes.
Ila mina ngihleli khona.
That's where I was seated in the middle.
Senzo ehleli la.
The witness pointing to the witness's right. That's where Senzo sat.
Yes.
And then ngala kakuhleli Makakheli.
Witness pointing to the couch on the right hand side of the photo. That's where Kelly's mother sat, where I'm pointing.
Esokuthi part nendawo kakuhleli uZandi.
In the middle, Zandi, it was Zandi.
Yes, just a minute. Yes.
Ukuthi akubonakali ke la kakuhleli khona uKheli kodwa ila kulesithombe lesi sincane ila.
Ayibambe lapho ke. It's just that on the picture, that is now the witness pointing to the couch on the left side of the picture, it's not visible. But then pointing on this little photo here, you can see the number. Can you form it? That is where Kelly sat. On the far right, the couch on the left.
Where in relation to where the deceased was seated?
Go pin and down. It was a work. Next to him.
Right hand side.
On the right hand side. Just playing where the mat is, he was just as a child, just as a normal child, moving up and down there, and we were carrying Tingo.
And then sifika sahleli kanjalo.
Upon arrival, that's how we sat.
Emva kwesikhathi kwase kufika umuntu wesilisa at a later stage ngase ngithola ukuthi ubani, so ekutholeni kwami ke ngezwe kuthiwa ulongwe ethwala.
After some time, a gentleman or a male person arrived, and then after a while I was then told as to who that person was, and I was informed that it was Longwe Twala,
which is Zandi's boyfriend at that time.
Always one again, no Zandi ngaleso sikhathi, noma ethandana no Zandi ngaleso sikhathi.
Are you able to say more or less what time is the...
Mhlawumbe mangase ngithiwa ngiyazama ngathi after 7.
It was
7 and 8 after 7.
The game had ended already when he arrived. If I were to just take a guess, I would say after 7. To Zandi.
Ekufikeni ke kwethu ke basi ngiyakhumbula ukuthi sadla ukudla. Emva kokudla sasibuka ibhola. Ngiyakhumbula ukuthi mina ifoni yami yayisi off at the time.
After we had arrived, I remember that we ate food and we were watching
charging eduze kwe-TV lapha leya plasma.
I then put it in a charger which is just close to the plasma, the witness pointing to the TV.
Wase wafake yakhe wase wayishiya khona lapho.
After some time having plugged my phone in there, I remember that Kelly took it out and plugged her phone.
Can you just indicate more or less where you were charging your phone?
La.
The witness is pointing just where the TV is, on the TV stand. Here.
After 11, I'm told it's 19 after 11.
So when do we come back?
At 1:30.
1:30?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.